Eventually we'll find the time. And what if I believe you? Or what if and what if I could see you like I saw you the whole time? Go on, give it your all tonight. You can say anything you like. I'm not your savior, so far away, blinded by anger, you forgot who to play. I'll never be your lighthouse in the dust. If I had my way, I'd guide you to the rocks. Go on, give it your all tonight. You can say anything you like. Poison my mind. You'll never be satisfied. Blame the divine. Eventually they'll find the time. And what if I believe you? Or what if I believe you? What if go on, give it your all tonight. You can say anything you like. I'm not your savior, so far away, blinded by anger, you forgot who to play. I'll never be your lighthouse in the dust. If I had my way, I'd guide you to the rocks. Go on, give it your all tonight. You can say anything you like. You can say anything you like. Go and give it your all. You can say anything you like. What if I believed you? What if I could? Go on, give it your all tonight. You can say anything you like. I'm not your savior, so far away, blinded by anger, you forgot who to play. I'll never be your lighthouse in the dust. If I had my way, I'd guide you to the rocks. Go on, give it your all tonight. You can say anything you like. Go and give it your all tonight.
I saw you standing over there. You stole my love, girl, it isn't fair. And I see you, where you move just gets me high. Ignites my flame, sets me into overdrive, sets me into overdrive.
Welcome to WhiskeyOval_TV, back with the ESRA Pro Series, the Legacy Cup cars, and we have invaded Indianapolis Speedway. Along beside me is the broadcaster / owner with the one to go. That's going to be Harold. How's it going, man?
Oh, man, it's great being here in Indianapolis, in the middle of Indiana, in the middle of the heartland.
Man, this is a fun track, dude. Fun track, four corners, sort of say, and man, it's an absolute blast. This is one of my favorite. The Indy 500 stuff here on the iRacing, I think that's the next big special event for them.
Well, for the Dallara 18 cars, yeah, it'll be in May. Kind of sad to see that NASCAR is not going to be putting the oval down this year here.
So with warm-up underway, they have already done a qualifying. Qualifying is already over with. And I got the results right there. But, man, listen, man, we're already deep into this run. I think race number 5, I think what we're in. We just had Bristol Dirt last week. And that was an absolute blast. But, man, we're on race number 6 now.
We had our first two-time winner last week as well.
Yeah, first time, two-time winner, Matt Lovett. He is our points sitter as well by 10 points. But man, race number 6, each spot is just doing some rough math here. Each spot is worth 1 point. So man, if you're back 35 points, there's only 16 drivers in here tonight. So, man, it's going to be coming down to crunch time. It's just when do you make the call? When do you make the call to just throw some Hail Marys at some pit strategy and just see if it works out?
So this is one of those tracks that definitely has always been fuel strategy has been king here. I mean, in all the series, especially the open wheel, for sure. We know the fuel mapping of the open wheel cars, but definitely knowing your pit strategy and sticking to that plan. The crew chiefs are going to have those calculators out working.
Yeah, absolutely. I really think it's going to come down to pit as a couple of these guys like Joshua Johnson here with Team Rocket, the number 57 machine. He's working on his pit entry. And man, we've seen a couple times this season that the pit road entry has gotten a couple of these guys.
Well, one good thing about Indianapolis is a lot like Pocono. You come off of turn number 4 and you just basically keep it down in the low apron and right into the pit you go. Just going to worry about speeding on pit lane, not getting under the commit cone at the right speed and maintaining it down the long pit lane.
Only 1 minute and 42 seconds. And man, we see a couple new drivers in here. Zach Rinker, I don't believe I've seen his name. Dark Horse Racing, the number 84 car. So we'll see how he shakes out. But the warm-up, Hank Kaskin is the fastest so far with a 53.1. Oh, sorry, that's the gap. Here's a best lap time. Yeah, 53.1. Matt Lovett, 53.2. So, man, this could be a very fun race. Drafting, though, with these Legacy Cup cars without those big rear spoilers. Curious if drafting will come into play.
Basically, the drafting here will come into play. Just not seeing how many cars. It will cause the entry for these turns for these cars to push up a little bit, but there's definitely enough room to go 2 wide all the way through the turns. Some guys are probably going to push 3 wide.
Running down the point standing so far after 5 of 5 races, Matt Lovett is your point sitter right now by 10 points. Andrew Moore Jr., he has qualified on pole. He won Richmond. He's back in 2nd place. Roger Rios is 3rd. Roswell 4th. and Darren Bruce is rounding out the top 5 spots. So 1, 2, 3. Roger Rios is sitting third in points, and he is 12 points back from the championship, the reigning championship guy as well, Matt Lovett.
Darren Bruce just put in the fastest on the warm-up here just a second ago.
Man, with time running down to a .139. Andrew Moore with a .156. Checkered flag waves, and Harold, we're about to do a little bit of Indianapolis racing in these Legacy Cup cars.
Be a lot of fun watching these guys grid up. It's a big track, wide open, lots of spaces, lots of strategies, and a lot of fun history here at Indianapolis. Many races, many legacies started here.
88 laps is what we're doing, and man, I really think if you can just throw the kitchen sink there at your pit strategy and just kind of hope for the best, maybe the cautions will fall at the right time and whatnot. Man, tire wear is going to be absolutely massive here. But 88 laps, that's all these drivers are going to get around Indianapolis Speedway. So here we go. For tonight's event, here's a grid. Only 16, 17 cars. Andrew Moore Jr., driver from Pennsylvania. The number 77 machine. He'll be on pole. Outside of him, the new driver, Zach Rinker with Dark Horse Racing. Brian Works, the 82 machine. He'll be starting at third. Roswell, the Dark Horse Racing guy. Again, look at that. Second, third, and fourth, all teammates. The 65 car. Darren Bruce, the 00, he'll be starting fifth place. And Ed Jurgen with ENG Racing, number 92. Another great qualifying by Mr. Jurgen. He's sitting there in the 6th spot. Hank and Caston back in 7th. And Mark, Haters Make Us Famous, he'll be starting the 8th spot. John Mankowski, he'll be starting in 9th. And Matt Lovett, Dark Horse Racing, he'll be starting in 10th. Jim Westerfield, 11th. Ryan Nicoletta, he'll be starting in 12th spot. Moving on down the grid, 13, Joshua Johnson and Scott Wise. Brett Edwards and Ryan Dipple be starting in 16th. Jordan Berry, and then Kyle Ramsey is going to be our race controller tonight. And Steven Invasius, I don't think he put down a qualifying time or see if he even gridded up. No, Steven did not even grid up on it. So there it is, man. There is your grid, a lineup for 80 laps around this place. One thing about Dark Horse Racing, though, Knighton, his computer crashed on him last week there at Bristol. He has still not got it fixed, so maybe Zinker is going to be the fill-in driver for the 84 car of Casey Knighton, the Dr. Pepper machine.
I don't know what you're seeing for paint, but right now I'm looking at an all-black car.
Oh, yeah, no, he's definitely an all-black, but the original driver for Dark Horse Racing in that machine is a Dr. Pepper car, but his computer crashed and burned on him. So fill-in driver for that 84.
Looking for a sponsor, right?
Nah, I guess they didn't move over the sponsor. Here we go, lights on the pace car is off. Is that a new pace car? Pretty sure it is. Did they just update the pace car on us and we didn't know about it?
I think this last one when they gave us 2 new pace cars, if I remember right.
All right, man. Stacked up, packed up, Harold. 88 laps around Indianapolis. Andrew Moore Jr., see if he can go win another race. Zach Rinker, see if he can come in here and shake some stuff up. Green flag is going to wave, and we're off to the races. Going to do a little bit of shiving down here in turn number 1. Andrew Moore Jr. pulls out just a little bit. A very good gap early on for that 77 machine. Rinker still holding down P2. O'Brien Works missed the Bristol dirt race, but he's sitting back there battling out with Roswell right now. Brian Works down to the bottom side. Roswell out there to the high side. Tire wear, when do you want to start thinking about it? Are you already thinking about it, or you just want to kind of jockey for position and get yourself set up?
Well, these drivers now are probably getting a feel for the car in traffic. That's going to be different than going out there doing the last race yourself. Feeling the car, See what it does with the full tank of gas.
Brian has grabbed that third spot. Now Roswell falls back to fourth place. A little bit of company behind him. That's Hayden Caskin. And, man, he had a very good warm-up, the little happy hour session that the ESRA Pro Series does. But he's back there in fifth place. Darren Bruce back in sixth. John Mankowski still seventh. Ed Jurgen fell back 2 spots. Already, just after 1 lap, he's back in eighth place. Matt Lovett, ninth, and Jim Westerfield rounding out that top 10 spot.
They're all content right now, pretty much playing follow the leader, getting those single file, maybe a couple guys diving low, but for the most part, follow the leader, just getting their tires worn up a little bit so they can kind of get that first pit stop down and get told what the tire wear was like under traffic conditions.
Side-by-side racing for a slight bid. Ed Jurgen and Matt Lovett were side-by-side going down into that corner. The track map is going to be up there onto your screen. 4 corners is what we'll call as they work down the backstretch, going down into turn number 3, and then turn number 4, and then cross the finish line, obviously. But Andrew Moore Jr. setting the pace out early on, only on lap number 3, but man, a very good gap. And he has already won once already this year. We've only had a 2-time winner. That's going to be Matt Lovett. But Andrew Moore Jr., he could add to that 2 race guys as he kind of does that snake down the front stretch. Last lap times are up there on your race screen. A 53.0 for Moore. Zinker with a 53.0. Then Brian Wurst with a 53.2. So there you have it, man. Those are the lap times early on. We'll see how much they actually fall off. But a 0.0 for the top 2. Then third on back is about a 0.2 and higher. And Caskin's already moved up two spots. John Mankowski has moved up 2. Matt Lovett 2. But back here in the back of the pack, here we go. Brett Edwards back there in the 17th spot. And that number 52 machine, I really look for him to move up plenty of positions. Jordan Berry back here in the 16th. You have Ryan Dimple back in the 15th spot there in that number 20 machine.
Yeah, so looking at the current track conditions, we got temperature on the track of 100 degrees. So it's going to cause these cars to be slipping and sliding a lot like we had at Atlanta.
Has a 51 machine of Jordan Berry. Looks down to the inner side of Ryan Dimple, way back here in the back of the pack, battling out for the 15th spot. Brett Edwards, best seat in the house, just kind of watching these two. But as they work down down into turn number 4, they're going to be working down that front stretch. Back up front we go, though. The gap is up there on your race screen now. Andrew Moore Jr. with a 0.8, the second lead over Zach. Brian Wurst still back there in the 3rd spot, and Roswell just trying to follow right along. But Dark Horse Racing right now is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And with Matt Lovett, he's back there in 8th place. So a very good run for this Dark Horse Racing squad.
Not a lot of challenges here early. It looks like the field is starting to spread out some. Big, it was a Caskin and Bruce looked like the closest cars right now.
And this is going to be war of nutrition. And like we was talking about at the beginning of the broadcast, it's all going to come down to pit strategy. Do you want to pit early? You want to pit late? You want to run that thing all the way dry? It's going to be crazy, man. So 0.0 is what these drivers were running on lap number 4. And looky there, a 53.5 for our race leader. Zach with a 53.4. So, man, these lap times are completely falling off. Andrew Moore Jr. trying to break the draft off the 2nd place of Zach Rinker. And we see that a lot in the Indy cars, how they kind of do that do that snake down the front straightaway, trying to break those drafts and get away from that outside wall. But man, with these Legacy Cup cars, I just don't know how much of a draft will play.
And you're also in the Indy cars are also trying to create more dirty air with the entry to the turn, boosting the guy behind them.
Every position is going to count. Definitely with a short field here tonight. Only 17 cars made the call. Man, about one position is worth one point. So the max that they can make on the championship leader or on the points leader right now, if he does finish in last place, is roughly about 17 points. So, man, every position is going to count from here on out as we're on race number 6. Hank trying to hold back Darren Bruce back there, the double O machine. Hard charger here tonight. Not much passing, man. Only three passes. And that's going to be the 41 machine. He's moved up 3 spots since the initial green flag. Did not get the best of qualifying laps. And now just trying to protect his tires and work his way up. And you can hear those tires, man, just absolutely grinding there into the racetrack. And now the race leader is up 53.7, man. So these guys are almost already a second off the pace.
Definitely starting to spread out some more. No one's really trying anything early, which is kind of good here at Indianapolis. And it's with the hot track, they're probably hoping that it's going to cool off some, and they're also needing to find out what that tire wear is like. And they can't see that until the tires come off. They do have 5 sets here today.
So, man, they got plenty of tire wear. I mean, they got plenty of tires. I would think, but man, late race cautions, that can go all out the window.
Tires are definitely a premier here, so they're I would say 10 laps at the most, and then you'll see guys come down. If there's a late caution with more than 10 laps on the tires, they'll probably all come down to get changed. At least 2 sides, right sides.
Roswell got around Brian Wurst for that 3rd spot, so now Roswell is P3, the last podium spot early on. Still got plenty of laps to go, only lap 10 of 88. So, but man, slowly pulling away from the 82 machine, the 65 car. Might be slowly coming alive, might be working those tires a little bit harder. We'll see how, see when their pit window is, but only that 65% fuel run or fuel load is all they have. So, man, that it gets really sketchy with that percentage of fuel load.
At 65, I mean, I think the guys, at 65% fuel, they're going to be able to work their tires in, not really about any flat tires or flat spotting any tires. These guys are pretty good at that, so I see them going all the way until the fuel runs out. These guys with the fuel strategy, maybe double clutching as well. And where DW said, working that egg back there in the rears. Some of these guys in the back maybe just conserving fuel to see how long they got for a fuel run.
Working off turn 4 now, the field does down the front stretch. Good run by this number 36 machine, but man, we've seen this a couple of times now, Harold, where some drivers are running really good, man, up into the top 10, sometimes even the top 5, and they get snake bitten by pit road. They get too fast entering. We've seen a couple times where they try to get into pit road and they go flying through the infield.
Yeah, I said there the entry here is not really tricky. The speed is probably going to be the one we got to work like that the most, because it's a straight line braking coming off of turn number 4 going into Indy pits.
But man, you can make up a lot of time on the entry of pit road. If you can get to that line, you know, just a second or 2 faster, man, that could make a very big difference. Or you can always lose plenty of time there on pit road too, trying to push it.
You can definitely lose it or gain it. It's like you said, that's one of the things that some people overlook is not practicing their pit stops under green. I know in official series, I've heard guys they're like, don't lie, I'm not worried about it. There's going to be enough yellows. But I think if you're new to iRacing, you definitely need to practice pit stops. You'd be surprised at how many positions you can lose or gain just on a green flag pit stop.
Absolutely, and we know here in the ESRA Pro Series, the Monday night, the Legacy Cup cars, these guys, this league does not have very many cautions, only about one or two a race. But man, with Indianapolis, such a wide track, and everyone is already kind of getting spread out. The closest race is right here for that top 5. Hank has it, and Darren Bruce wants it. It got really close to that Chevy SS back bumper as they work down into turn number 4 now.
Yeah, I've ridden against Hank quite a bit, and he's one of those guys that really knows how to conserve fuel. So I could see him back here basically just rolling the throttle and that 0-0, trying to capitalize underneath him to come off faster. But Hank's conserving, I can almost bet that.
A little bit wider there into the corners, and Darren Bruce, the double O machine, has a draft. We'll see if he can make anything work. Down the backstretch, slowly closing up on that back bumper, just not going to get to him. But there you have it. I think the draft does work just a slight bit, but man, in these Legacy Cup cars, it's just not like the regular A-class cars.
But there's also you're having the more drastic turn. You don't have the high bank of like Daytona or Talladega to maintain the speed. So you're basically scrubbing off a lot of speed. So you need to have 2 or 3 cars that are actually comparable in their trajectory through the corners to really make the draft work. And these guys seem to be pretty comparative. That's why they're working well. They need another guy to help them, though, to help them go faster.
Down into turn number 2 now. Here we go. Can he get that thing to work? Trying to look to the inside, not quite, man. These drivers just get a little bit loose. So the double O machine still holding back there in the 6th spot, and Hank Kaskin, the 36 machine, is still holding on to that P5 spot. So we'll see how that all plays out. Working on down the list, Matt Lovett still has only moved up 3 spots, back here in the 7th spot now. See if he can get back to the back bumper of that double O machine. And Jim Westerfield, he's moved up 3 spots as well. We've seen him up front plenty of times. He's working that 8th spot, 8 seconds behind our race leader of Andrew Moore. Rinker did fell back 2.6 seconds, so Andrew Moore Jr. still holding a very good pace. They're on the number 77 car. John Mankowski, he started in 9th place, and he is still here in 9th place on lap number 16 as Mark tries to work the underneath him. But not quite. The number 80 car all over the back bumper of John Mankowski for the 9th spot. Mark looks low, looks like he's going to take it, but did not drive hard enough into it. But Mankowski is going to stay high, 1 lane, side by side, and working down into turn number 4 now.
0-1 is definitely running all the way up to the top line, all the way against the wall. I thought he made contact with it. You might be able to put a piece of paper between him and the wall right now.
Man, I thought I seen a little bit of sparks fly, but I wasn't too for sure. But man, Mark, he almost had it though, almost had it. But man, when you're underneath somebody, you got to watch out. Your car can easily start sliding up.
Yeah, you got to wait to get back on the throttle when you're underneath somebody. It doesn't work good coming off the corner. If you can get in early in like turn 1 and 3 to where you get to that mid straight, that small straight chute, if you're already on the inside of the guy, it may help you getting into the next turn and be able to slide up in front of him. Pretty similar to like your dirt track racing where you did that slide job up to the outside line.
Yeah, man, the NASCAR had the Bristol.
Oh, 0-1 around, 0-1 around.
Noses it there on the outside wall. The caution still has yet to fly.
Yeah, he lost it in turn 3 and 4 in the short chute.
And he is still spun around. No caution. Lap 18, we're going to keep it clean and keep it green. Wow, he lost it big time.
He's on the track. He's coming back up to speed. He's at 83 miles an hour, so he's moving it. And he's on the front stretch right now, midfield.
Jump right inside of the cockpit. Look at the steering wheel. I don't know if that's just how it sets or or if it's a little bit to the left, a little bit of a bent chassis, but so far so good. And man, wow, big time. Surprised there was no caution that waved. A lot of drivers had to pass him. Driver working that 6th or 7th spot. I think he was about the 8th spot, 9th spot. He falls all the way back to that 13th now. But here we go with the crash one more time. And we seen him touch that wall. And man, he just got crazy loose. Everybody, Ed Jurgen barely squeaking by.
Yeah, I think
everyone
what happened
else
there
is splitting him.
Yeah, I think what happened there is he got real close to the wall, and he evasive maneuvered to not hit the wall, and overcorrected the machine, and caused it to turn wicked loose to the right.
Yeah, he got a little bit throttle happy. And that back end started stepping away, and it was just a goner from there. Could not save it. So back to live mode, back to race mode. That was the only spin out that we've had. He falls back to the 17th spot. Ed Jurgen is into the pit road, though. See what type of strategy this guy's going to play.
Looks like he went in for tires. 14.4 was his box time.
As everyone else is making their pit road entry now. Zach is in there. Roswell, Hank, Matt Lovett, Mark, Brett Edwards. Ryan just now entered pit road. So plenty of drivers entering pit road. And pit strategy could be coming on to play here, though. Andrew Moore Jr. has yet to pit, our race leader. Is still out there on the racetrack. Coming around turns 3. Almost about to be in turn number 4 now. He's about to put a lot of guys a lap down. And here comes our race leader of Andrew Moore Jr. Hard on the brakes, trying to get that thing all woed up. Make sure you don't get the speeding penalty. And he's on pit road right now. Ed Jurgen goes right around him, gets his lap back. Everybody else looks like they got a pretty clean entry and exit.
Oh, we got somebody on the outside of turn 4, right at the pit lane entrance on the track. Heavy damage. Coming to the start-finish line right now and trying to see who that is. Looks like, is that the 0-1?
Jordan Berry. And there it is, Jordan Berry, no front bumper whatsoever. Completely demolished.
Yeah, that car basically got wicked loose coming off of turn number 4. Hard impact to the outside wall.
Momentum Sim Sport, or Momentum Sim Racing driver, Jordan Berry, the 51 machine. I got the replay right here as well. We'll see what happened to Mr. Berry. And here we go. Trying to get onto pit road. Hard on the brakes. Oh, man, tough hit. Big time hit there. And that was that moment where you can make up a lot of time or you can lose a whole lot of time. And that 51 machine of Jordan Berry, it's safe to say he has lost all sorts of time there.
We got Scott Weiss out there in that 31, 22 laps on this fuel run.
It's back to live mode, back to race mode. We have yet to have a caution with 2 cars spun out, smashed the outside wall. And Scott Wise is our race leader and has yet to pit too. But this is a driver that needs to throw the kitchen sink there at pit strategy. And he's doing it. He is definitely doing it. Lap 22, the last driver to pit. Oh man, he's out of fuel. He's out of fuel, Harold. He is all the way down to the inside white line. He tried to push it. He's working off a turn of 4 now. Can he just coast this thing all the way in? His car's quiet.
Oh man, that's not good. You know, talk about being snake bit. He's gonna get down on the pit lane though, so he's off the racing group. He's gonna lose time because he's definitely below pit speed at this point.
And here comes our race leaders just now going right around him. Zach, Roswell, Andrew Moore. Top 3 right now. Andrew Moore Jr. back there in the 3rd spot. He was our race leader by about 2 seconds. And now he sits back there in P3 with Roswell and Zach Rinker jumping him.
Well, you talked about it earlier that, you know, Wise was throwing caution to the wind, trying to get as many laps as he could, Because if he could do 22, which is what he was trying to do, then he would have only had to pit 3 times versus everybody else's 4. So that may still work to his advantage.
So check this out, man. Here's our pit lap, and here's our pit time. Actually, let's do pit lane time. Actually, the top 3 is what we're looking at. Andrew Moore Jr. was our race leader by about 2 seconds. He pitted 1 lap afterwards. 1 lap afterwards. On lap 20, Zach and Roswell pitted on lap number 19. Sure, they had a little bit faster of a pit stop. From the entry of pit road to the exit of pit road, a 49.4, a 49.7, and Andrew Moore Jr. with the 51.0. So there you have it, man. You can make up a lot of time here at Indianapolis there on pit road, or like we've seen lots of guys do already, you can lose a lot of it. So Andrew Moore Jr. with a 2-second lead to being down 2 spots. I think that 77 car definitely is the fastest car out there early on. I mean, I know we're only on lap 24 though, but he was definitely setting the pace out there. He shut off like a cannon whenever the green flag waved. He qualified on pole. So we'll see how this dirty air behind Roswell affects that number 77 car, but I see him working his way back up front. But Zach and Roswell, they were matching his lap times later, or in that late part of that run.
Yeah, these guys definitely, they got the information they were looking for. We got the information as 22 laps is about all you got for fuel. And these guys do have their information about what their tire wear was on a full fuel run. So lots of calculations being done by their crew chiefs on top of that pit box to what they're going to do on this next set. So we're going to be looking at around lap 42 for the start of the next green flag runs down the pit lane.
And there you have it, man. Scott Wise with 1 minute and 34 seconds. Ryan Nicoletta, the number 59 machine. Don't know exactly what happened to him, but he had a really bad pit stop. 1 minute and 31 seconds for this driver. So I don't know if he ran out of fuel as well, but he has lost 2 spots since the initial green flag has waved. And he's back here in the 14th spot. Matt Lovett has moved up to the P4 now. He has moved up 6 spots and working his way right up front. Last lap times are up there on your race screen. And he's matching them, a 53.6 for the 41 machine of Matt Lovett. The race leader, a 53.6. 2 teammates right there, 1 and 4. Brian Wertz just slowly falling back. He's back there in the 10th spot trying to get around Ed Jurgen. It looks like he's going to. Ed Jurgen of 54.2. He was, I believe, Ed was one of the first guys that went into pit lane to see if he can get some pit strategy going. And yeah, he pit on lap number 18. The very first car down on pit road was Ed Jurgen. And we'll see if that all works out for him.
And Jordan Berry's on pit lane now getting serviced. It's going to take a while for them to do some of the repairs. So last car on the track is Berry down 3 laps now.
51 machine there in the pit road, and like you said, man, he just locked him up, smashed an outside wall. So a tough break for him. Scott Wise, he's back out there. He is back in 15th spot though. Ryan Nicoletti, you have Ryan Dimple, you have Joshua Johnson, and here we go. 12th, 11th, and 10th place, all nose to tail, working on each other, trying to throw some punches. Trying to still all jockeying for position. Ed Jurgen leads the small group with Brett Edwards there in the middle, and Joshua Johnson back behind him and almost made contact. Ed Jurgen to the outside. Not giving that spot up quite yet, and these drivers trying to get that car turned down onto that white line. And it's just getting more and more difficult for these guys.
It's definitely the track Track's cooled off about 5 degrees, so it's going to end up getting tackier over time. And the 52 is still looking at the inside of the 92. You see Jurgen with those older tires sliding high, and the 52 being able to stick down low. Oh, he almost had contact with the 57 machine right behind him.
Side by side racing. Ed Jurgen does not want to give up that 10th spot. Brett Edwards wants it real bad, and Joshua Johnson almost just rear-ended Brett Edwards. Oh wow, Joshua Johnson is clutching his machine there, trying to save as much fuel as possible there in the 57 machine, clutching it down into turn number 1, but now he looks down to the inside of Brett Edwards.
I wonder if he saw what happened to Scott Wise, and what lap did he pit at
Scott Wise pit on lap 22, and he ran out of gas in about turn 3. And there he goes again. Joshua Johnson clutching it.
Joshua Johnson, what lap did he? Was it 21?
21, yes.
Yeah, so he saw what Weiss did, and he's going to try to get that 23 laps by that clutching of that car to try to get to where he only has to stop 3 times versus everybody else having to go 4.
Team Rocket is the team that he races for. And listen to it. There it is. He has about a 2,000 RPM is what he rolls down into the corner with. Lifts off that clutch pedal, and he has a ride back to about 6,600. So he only does it down into turn 1 and turn number 3. We'll watch him down this backstretch as he tries to get the draft of Brett Edwards.
He's letting that car in front of him basically take care of pulling him around the racetrack.
Interesting. We'll see. Pit on lap 21. We'll see if he can extend it out, but trying to work under Brett Edwards. Now, don't think he would want to pass him if he's worried about saving fuel, unless he's just really faster than him. But I would try to stay right behind that 52 machine as much as possible and save as much fuel, but we'll see what he does. Down the front stretch, these drivers roar.
It looks like he's definitely content using that 52 to break the air for him.
This is the closest battle out on the racetrack. We'll check up on 5th place. Well, we'll keep an eye on this 57 machine. See how that all works out for him. Hank Gaskin still up there in that 5th spot. Darren Bruce right there behind him. And man, these drivers have been side by side all race long. That 5th and 6th place drivers. Kind of curious if anyone else is trying to clutch their machine in. One driver out on pit road, that's Jordan Berry, still trying to get some repairs made.
I would be curious in watching Brian Wirtz in that 82 machine. He's on the same pit strategy as Joshua Johnson.
Yeah, Brian Wirtz is definitely one of these guys that he definitely crunches the numbers there on pit road. And here in the ESRA Pro Series, when you come into pit, one for safety, you have to key up. You have to key up and say that you're pitting, so we don't have a big accident. But that also works against you, because a lot of these drivers been racing with each other for many seasons now, starting in the ARCA cars, and they know which drivers are good on pit strategy, fuel strategy, tire strategy in the 82 machine. He's definitely one of those guys. Whenever he keys up, saying that he's coming down pit road, you definitely want to listen and start re-crunching your numbers. But he's definitely not clutching in his machine. But I don't think he's giving it too much throttle. I mean, 7,000 RPM is all he's hitting. They're in between the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We'll watch our race leader now, as Zach Roswell and Andrew Moore Jr. is our top 3. And here we go, Harold. A race for the lead, side by side, coming across the bricks. New race leader, swapping the race lead. Roswell, teammates with Zach Rinker. Roswell took the lead, and Zach now falls back to second, and Andrew Moore Jr. Gonna try to hold on to their draft the best he possibly can down the backstretch. It is 2 versus 1 right now. 65 and 84. And then the 77 machine is on his own little island. Don't know if this matters or not, Harold, but Andrew Moore, the guy sitting in 3rd place, he pitted 1 lap afterwards. So he has a, just a slight bit better of tires. But 1 lap, that could definitely make a difference. Top 3, nose to tail down the backstretch. Roswell slowly pulling away now. See if Zach can hold on to that draft. See if that draft works out for him.
About 5 laps, we're going to start seeing green flag pit stops. And the 57 and the 82 are together now with those 13 laps on their tires, so they can go the furthest.
So there you go. Zach Rinker hit about 7,500 RPMs in between corners. Brian Wirtz, he is hitting only about 7,000. So now Wirtz, can he try to extend it? He been on lap 21, so he will have a couple more fuel laps than these top 3 drivers.
They're going to need to try to get to 44 so that they can get that 1 less pit stop than the rest of the field is what they're trying to bank on. I wonder if they can do it.
That's a question. That's a roll of the dice. Matt Lovett back here in the 4th spot. He's moved up 6 spots already. He's about a full straightaway away from the top 3. The gap is up there on your screen now. He has a 9-second gap until the top 3, but man, he just has nobody to draft with, no one to push him. They're behind him, so he's kind of just on his own island as well, just burning up fuel.
The draft definitely helps with the fuels. Being in the first one to the air is definitely going to hurt you on your fuel consumption. And some of these guys that are like in 2-car, 3-car packs can throttle it off, and like you saw, was it Johnson and Wirtz actually, using that clutch to cause the car not to use any fuel through the corners.
33 minutes and 40 seconds here in tonight's event, and top 3.
Pit lane starting to get busy.
And pit lane starts to get busy. Ed Jurgen, the first car on the pit road last time, is the first car on pit road once again. I'll have the pit lap up, so we know 19 laps. So Brett Edwards in that top 2 should be coming in any minute now. See if they were able to save fuel. They did not come in that time. So next time by, will they come? Well, Andrew Moore Jr., though, that's the question, though. The 77 car. He did not have the best lap time last go-around. Lost his 2-second lead and fell back to 3rd. Will he try to push it a little bit more? Will he try to get on pit road a little bit earlier? Or does he just follow these guys in, stay in their draft, and just try to race them straight up?
Somebody's entering pit lane right now, smoked him up the tire, locked them completely up.
As the race leaders work off of turn number 3 now, trying to get into turn number 4. Will these top 3 drivers pit? Or will they completely wreck each other trying to come into pit road? Or will they make it one more time on the mic? Does anybody do it? No, they don't. They're going to go one more time around. Brett Edwards is there on pit road. They're in number 52 car.
He smoked his tires coming into the turn, but he's getting them all changed out, but missed his pit stall and had to back up.
Here we go. We'll try to watch a replay of the 52 machine. Hard on the brakes of best he possibly can. Locking them up. Does he get a pit road penalty? Curious. We'll see.
He sure laid down a whole lot of smoke.
Back up front we go. Roswell. Here we go. Race leaders working down into turn number 4 now. Do they pit this time by? A lot of guys already have. Brett Edwards, 12th on back, have pitted. And we have 2 guys coming in. Roswell, Andrew. Sorry, Roswell and Zach, the two teammates, are going to come down on pit road.
Yeah, they're looking at 19 laps per fuel run is what those guys seem like they're happy with, these front runners.
Matt Lovett comes in, another Dark Horse Racing teammate. Hank Kaskin comes in. Jim Westerfield's going to stay out one more lap. But these two guys, they have got to get a good pit stop, hit their marks just right, get their car down, and get down pit road. Left side tires up for Roswell. Zach, left side tires goes up. Roswell hits the gas pedal, and what a good pit stop by that 57 car. Or sorry, by the 65 car. And hard on the gas pedal, jumping the grass, trying to get that machine around this easy access road here, sort of say. Oh, man, and he was close. He was close to that blue
coming
line.
Down. 3 more cars coming down pit lane.
And our race leader has yet to come in. If Andrew Moore Jr., he is staying out. Same thing with Wirtz. He stayed out as well.
I think Moore is going to come down this lap coming back.
Joshua Johnson is one of those drivers that was hitting the clutch to try to save as much fuel as possible. Can he try to stretch that thing out? See where they all fall. So we jump on board. Andrew Moore Jr. and our race leaders coming down pit road. Now Andrew,
the big thing here is seeing if Wirtz and Johnson have enough to go 22 laps.
Man, someone was crazy trying to get on pit road. I think that was Ryan Nicoletta. Andrew Moore, so he when the top two pitted, he was sitting in 3rd place. He pitted about 2 laps after him. We'll see if he comes back out in the lead. He's on lap 41 is when he pitted. Roswell and Zach been on lap 39. And where are they at? They're 3rd and 4th place. They're coming across the line right now. And Andrew Moore Jr. hot on the gas pedal. So he has lost some time, some big time too. But he does have 2 laps fresher tires. If he can make up that gap, that would be absolutely huge. But man, he lost all sorts of time.
If Wirtz and Johnson, if they can go 1 more lap, they'll be at half cross flags at the pit stop, which is put them in a great position.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely it is. Fuel strategy coming down to play. Joshua Johnson. No, I've said this plenty of times now, but he is hitting that clutch. Brian Wirtz, like I said, it just did not seem like he was hitting that gas pedal. It was very, very hard. Only hitting about 7,000 RPMs. And look at there, he still barely hit 7,000 and lets right off the gas.
He is definitely trying to get to the cross flags before he takes this pit stop. They're at 21 laps for both of these guys, Wirtz and Johnson.
Lap 44 is halfway, if my math is correct. My math is not the best, and definitely doing it live is definitely not the best, but man, just needs to go one more time by. Or maybe you can pit this time and still make it, but Harold, absolutely perfect, dead on, man. These drivers want to pit on lap 44, and here they come, both of them, Brian Wirtz and Joshua Johnson. Oh, Brian Wirtz almost loses it.
Definitely, they're working it. They're going to have to do the same thing again, going 22 laps for fuel if they're going to try to get, string it to where they don't have to pit like everybody else. They're going to try to get to the end, but, it did bite Scott Weiss earlier.
Here we go, watching this re-entry of the 82 machine, hot on the brakes. Man, hopefully he did not get a pit road penalty. Now he has got 1 pit road penalty early on into the season, and that really got him snake bit. So we'll see if that happened to him again, but both of those drivers, the 82 and the 57 machine, sitting very pretty as of right now, but we'll see how it all works out. Roswell is our race leader there in the 65 car. Zach sitting second, and Andrew Moore back there in the P3 spot. Halfway home. Next on battles back there in the 5th and 6th spot. That's going to be Hank and Darren Bruce. And man, this race is just coming down to straight up endurance racing, Harold. It seems like 88 laps, only 17 drivers made the call. And it is all go. The fastest car. Will he come out on top, or will pit strategy wins? And here we go with the pit lane time. Curious on the 77 machine. From the start, from the start of entry until the very end of pit exit, a 49.4. Rinker, a 50.8. And then Roswell, race leader, he made a 49.2 of pit lane time. So very solid.
Ryan Wirtz had some issue because he had 54 seconds in his box, 126 for his total lane time.
So a tough break for this 82 machine. You're right, man. Minute and 30. So he left the pits with a 54.5. He left the pit with a 54.5, but then, oh yeah, left his pits at 54. Man, I'm curious if he had damage. Or
Not sure.
Or he had a black
something
flag.
happened. Something happened, definitely, for sure. So Joshua looks like he's the one in the catbird seat right now.
Yeah, Joshua Johnson had a 50.68. So definitely something happened there on Brian Wirtz's machine, trying to play pit strategy, and yeah, he's just sitting there. 1997 is his RPMs, and he must have got a black flag or something. But I thought you would have to make another lap to serve that. But regardless, not the best. He's back there in 12th spot now.
So we're going to keep an eye on this number 11. You were saying he was hard clutching through the whole last system. So if he can do that again and stretch it to where he can do this in one more pit stop and the race go green, you're looking at his win. And by tuning it by strategy, he's one of the guys that has not won yet this season.
Yeah, Joshua Johnson, the 57 machine, back there in 11th spot. But the thing you got to watch out for, though, he's just now coming off a 2, and our race leader is about to come off a 2 right now. So he only has about a straightaway, if that, to our race leader. So you definitely don't want to go a lap down. But man, he is already hitting that clutch hard, trying to save as much fuel as he possibly can.
So if the leaders have to do one other pit stop that he doesn't have to do, he'll definitely make up at least a lap.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of those drivers that he needs to start throwing the kitchen sink at it. He's back in the 7th place in the point standing right now, 57 points behind Matt Lovett. So he's doing it, man. He's going to try it out. He has started all the races as well. He finished 15th last week, 8 laps down at the Bristol Dirt Race. At Atlanta, Joshua Johnson finished 12th spot. So yeah, he's definitely going for it. I'm excited for him. I want to see him. I would like to really see this fuel strategy all work out. So we jump on board with our race leader, and we'll kind of do a quick rundown of the field. Roswell's our leader. Zach, his teammate, back there in 2nd spot. Andrew Moore Jr. Don't know how, man. He slowly loses time, but his lap times are matching everybody. He pitted 2 laps afterwards, but he's slowly closing up on that back bumper. He's 3.8 seconds behind Zach now. Matt Lovett back there in the 4th spot. And he's almost about a half a straightaway away. He's 13.4 seconds. Darren Bruce back here in the 5th spot there in that 00 machine. And then Hank Caston right there behind him. And these two drivers, man, once again, have been nose to tail the entire race, all 50 laps. Jim Westerfield back here in the 7th spot, just kind of having a quiet night for him in that 03 machine. A very good run for him there at Bristol Dirt. Sorry, not Bristol Dirt. I think it might have even been Atlanta. It was Atlanta. Top 3 run for Jim Westerfield. Back in Atlanta. Hot Atlanta, too. So, if one guy knows how to save his tires, it's going to be this guy. There in the 03 machine. And he's sitting 8th right now in points. Number 80 machine, a Mark. Haters make us famous. He's back in there in the 8th spot. This is exactly where he started out, too. He has not moved a position, and he has yet to lose a position. But sometimes that's not bad. Sometimes that's not bad whatsoever. He finished 10th place there at Bristol. And he's sitting 10th place right now in the point standings. So definitely trying to capitalize. Trying to gain every point, just having very solid runs is all this driver's trying to do. Brett Edwards, the number 52 machine, back here in the 9th place. He's sitting 9th in points as well, 9th on the track here at Indianapolis. And I don't think Brett Edwards made the start at Bristol. I don't recall him making that start. We'll see what he ran at Atlanta, though. Yeah, Brett Edwards ran 24th place. So not the best of last 2 weeks. So he's trying to capitalize, capture him in the top 10. Ed Jurgen back there in the 10th place for EG Racing, the number 92 machine, the half prize car. Man, this driver always qualifies very well and tries to hang up there. Right now, he's lost 4 spots since the initial start of the race. And Joshua Johnson, the guy we're keeping our eyes on, Harold, he's back here in the 11th spot, the last car on the lead lap.
Yeah, but hearing him, though, as he's been clutching, one thing is that rear end's wanting to step out. So I'm hearing the tires kind of giving him a little bit of a fit back there. If he can hold on to it, he's in a good spot.
Last lap times between him and the race leader. He ran a 55.2. Our race leaders ran a 54.4. Andrew Moore Jr. has captured second place over Zach with a 54.1. So this 77 machine pitted 2 laps afterwards, and he's making those tires work for him.
These guys will start coming down right around between 58 and 60. So we start seeing pit lane go. Ed Jurgen, probably the first one down.
Hard on the clutch once again. Joshua Johnson trying to stay on the lead lap. As pit road is about to reopen once again. And man, now he's clutching both corners. It used to just be the first corner. Now I think he's clutching in both corners. So still holding that 10th spot. And Jim Westerfield just now goes a lap down. See, kind of works off of pit road.
I gotta give props to Joshua. I've never done the clutching under green flag conditions. Done it on yellow quite a bit of time. I'm always worried that when I re-engage the clutch, that the car's going to come around on me. Somebody is blowing up on pit lane.
That might have been Jordan Berry. Yeah, there he is, smoking, rolling out of that front hood, doing that 51 machine. And he was that driver that tried to get on pit road and just completely lost it and nosed it to the outside wall. Been trying to go on pit road, trying to fix as much damage as possible, but it finally got to him. Finally got to that engine. And now smoke is rolling, and his night is going to be done back there in the 17th spot on lap 55. Mark comes down on pit road. Back in 7th spot. Brett Edwards is coming down pit road. Ed Jurgen comes down pit road. Hold on to it, Ed. Almost loses it.
Joshua Johnson saw what was going on, took his eye off the ball, and almost slapped the wall on turn number 4 coming out of the front stretch.
Man, look how early this guy is clutching, man. Right when he crossed the line. He pushes that clutch in, and he is saving, man. Saving every ounce he possibly can, and that is dedication. It is so hard to save fuel like that from the moment you get off a pit road with a full tank of fuel. I just want to go fast and press that gas pedal. Roswell comes down. Here we go, man. Pit road getting busy. Matt Lovett down. Darren Bruce is in.
The question is did Joshua Johnson, is he able to save enough fuel to where he only needs one more pit stop? That's the only thing that's going to help him get to the checkered first.
Zach and Roswell are teammates. Zach stayed out. Roswell came in. And now here comes our race leader of Andrew Moore Jr. He comes down on pit road. Very solid pit entry. I don't think he locked him up or anything. He's going to grab some 4 fresh tires.
So with these guys now, that we're looking at about 30, 31, 32 laps left. They'll probably split the difference here at 15 laps of the last half.
Still keeping our eye on this 57 machine with Team Rocket. Joshua Johnson trying to roll the dice, play this pit strategy, playing a little bit of poker as well. He's up the 4th spot now as everyone else comes down pit road. Matt Lovett has yet to pit. Joshua Johnson, Roswell, and Andrew Moore Jr. Actually, those guys have pitted, Andrew Moore and Roswell. They pit on lap 55 and 56, and they're going to battle it out a little bit. I thought they were. Roswell is up to 2nd place. And Andrew Moore Jr. close that gap a little bit. They're on that pit road. But Zach is still staying out, though, man. The 84 machine. He's still out on pit road.
Andrew Moore elected no tires. No tires for the 77.
Pit time. 9 seconds is all he got, man. 9 seconds. Is that even enough to fill up the car?
At 65%, I think it would be.
Oh, yeah, that is true. 65%. Usually you can get a full tank of fuel with 4 tires for the exact same amount of time. And here comes
what Andrew Moore is trying to do is, though, he's trying to split the difference. So we're gonna see these guys come back down around 65, 68, roughly 69, something in that nature to finish it up. So then he'll get his full fuel and tires. That'll be what Andrew Moore. I think Andrew Moore's crew chief is working for him.
Zach comes down pit road, our race leader with Dark Horse Racing. Right side's left side is up. They're going to drop that sucker down hard on the gas pedal and back underway. But he loses a little bit of time, falls back to 3rd place. 14.3 pit time. But Andrew Moore Jr. elects not to take tires. Only a 9-second pit stop. They do have 5 sets of tires plus the one that they have had. So it's really 6 sets. And they've only pitted 3 times, right? So they should still have about three sets, maybe 2 sets left. So these drivers have plenty of tire. Kind of curious. Don't know exactly what he wants to deal with, but I don't know. I have no idea. Lap 60 of 88 coming to an end.
Well, he was basically gambling that 6 seconds saved is going to be helpful for him to gain some positions, so that when he goes to do his final pit stop, that he'll be in the best position to go for the checkered flag.
There we go. Joshua Johnson, he has yet to pit. He's the last car out there on the track, and man, sometimes Man, last time he pitted was 43. Is he saving too much fuel and losing too much time? That's another question, though.
He needs to get 6 more laps, and then he'll be able to go down and get his final service.
And everyone else will still have to pit. Maybe.
Well, everybody's got to pit again. It's just, does Joshua have one and to be it, or is he gonna have to have 2 pit stops?
Last lap, 43. We're on lap 61 now. He is still on the lead lap as well, riding in the top 5. Our race leader's in the middle of the backstretch, so he has plenty of room. They're behind him. But man, if a caution flag waves, everything would just go out the window, and everything that these drivers have worked for would be completely gone.
Yeah, it would still require another pit stop from here, so it would definitely ruin all of the pit strategy that's been worked thus far.
Pit lane time, once again, up there on your screen. A 49, a 45, a 49. Man, something just doesn't seem right, though. 9-second pit stop for the 77 car. But his pit time was a 45.9. Only saved about 4 seconds from that entire pit road. Could make a difference, though. Definitely could. Darren Bruce back in 5th place. Say that again.
Definitely not helping him, because he's a whole second and a half slower than Roswell and Zinker.
Last lap times up there. Yep, there you are, man. Andrew Moore, 2nd place driver. 54.7. Our race leader and 3rd place. Actually, our 3rd place, Zach, pitted a little bit later, but a 52.7. So, man, 2 seconds faster than Andrew Moore.
So I'm not sure what that did for him. Maybe he was in a position where he couldn't get tires too close to the pit lane or something of that nature.
So he just gets blown by now as Zach goes right around him, no problem whatsoever. Now Andrew Moore Jr. falls back to that 3rd spot. Or maybe he could short pit too. I mean, all these drivers are going to have to pit again, so. Besides Joshua Johnson, that's the question we still haven't figured out. So he could short pit, get us fresh tires, and off underway.
Yeah, Johnson's still gonna need 3 more laps on this set before I would give him the go at it.
Man, he is pressing that clutch so early, man. Down in the middle of these corners, he has hit about 7,200. And he is babying this thing all the way around this racetrack, trying to save every ounce he possibly can.
It takes 52 seconds to go around the circuit, and then if you talk in the pit lane on top of that, so that it could, for the one pit that they're going to be at, be about 1 minute and 40 seconds total for that circuit. That he'll only have 50 seconds, so he'll end up having a positive in his fact of not having to use the 58 seconds extra. But is that going to be enough? Did the calculation work out in his favor? We'll find out.
That we will. We'll see how the dominoes fall at the very end of this. But man, this is shaping up to be a very good one. Just shy of 1 hour, 59 minutes and 58 seconds in to this race. And man, right now I have no idea whose race is it. Will Andrew Moore Jr., will he try to short pit? Roswell, can he grab a big enough a lead? Last time he pitted, though, was lap 55. Zach back here in the 2nd spot. We'll see the gap on these two. A 6.2 second lead for Roswell over Zach. With the last lap time, though. And there you have it. A 53.2 for our 2nd place runner. And Roswell, our race leader, a 53.7. So 0.7 versus a 0.2. Zach is slowly closing up on that back bumper.
Look for Joshua Johnson to either go down this time or one more by. If he can go one more he would be done with conserving and be able to go full tilt. So we'll see what he does coming off of turn 4 here. Does he need to come down now, or does he have another lap left?
So we wait in anticipation, and he does not come down.
So his crew chief's telling him, give me one more lap, and then the car is all yours for the last set.
Hard on that clutch once again, just trying to roll it as much as he possibly can. Lifts off the clutch, back on the gas pedal, and does not clutch it right there. He kind of keeps that thing rolling. Our race leader, he's about a half a race leader is coming across the line about right now, and Joshua Johnson is right there in the middle part of the backstretch. So he will go a lap down if he does pit, but this is his last time, and everyone else is going to have to pit. 22 laps ago.
I'm on top of him now, listening to his engine to make sure it does not kill, to make sure he had enough fuel. But he's going to go 23 laps on this fuel run. Oh my, he thinks he has enough to go 24.
He is going as much as he possibly can. He does not want to run out. Maybe he's thinking about a green, white, checkered. I don't know, but he's definitely inside the pit window. And right now, man, I don't know if he's just losing time by staying out. Andrew Moore Jr. down into the pits. So he did short pit.
You know, this Joshua Johnson is basically going to come down and have plenty of gas, so that he will not have to conserve at all. He can go full tilt coming off of pit road for this last time. So we don't know how fast Joshua is because he's been conserving.
Been conserving since lap 1. Down into turn number 4 he goes. Team Rocket. And looks like he's going to come down this time by. Yes, he is. Do not get a speeding penalty. Joshua Johnson, hard on the brakes, almost smashes the outside wall.
Wow.
Almost clips it.
He kept it under just the right control. So good thing he's got to have fuel. He's under power. Gets to that pit stop. It's going to be 4 fresh good Eagles, full fuel, and he's going to get that green flag from that pit crew chief telling him, go, go, go. It's all yours.
And that's his last time.
Oh, no. He blew past his pits.
Oh, no, but he's in it now, and right sides are up. Andrew Moore Jr., though, he has already pitted. Andrew Moore has already pitted. He did the short pit. He's back out onto the raceway, and he has already passed Joshua Johnson there for that 10th spot. So the 77 car up to the 9th place, and he is done with pit road. 20 laps to go. So Andrew Moore Jr. definitely has enough gas, should have enough gas to make it to the very end. And Joshua Johnson just now coming off of pit road, so I don't know if he'll have the tires to catch up. Interesting, and we'll all find out. Andrew Moore Jr., he was one of the fastest cars all day long. The driver that got the pole. Driver that got the pole, and he has been up in the top 3 all race long with 19 laps to go. He finds himself back in 9th, but he does not have to pit no more. Back up front with our race leader, this guy. He still has to pit.
I don't know. Andrew Moore might have pitted a little bit early in my calculations. Looks like he'll have 21 laps on this tank of gas, and that was that bit twice earlier.
He pit on lap 66. I think 21 laps about the is that about the max?
If they're not clutching, it would seem like 21 was pushing it. So as I said, with Joshua Johnson has plenty of fuel, so he's not going to be clutching at all. Andrew Moore might have to actually feather it a little bit to make sure he's got enough gas. So he's looking at the gas gauge right now, I would say, at number 77.
Brett Edwards down to pit road. He's staying in 9th place. So he's coming down for his final service. But yeah, man, that's what I was wondering. Joshua Johnson definitely has enough fuel, but did he save too much, though? Did he come in just a couple laps too late? But he is hard on the throttle, but now he is definitely not clutching. He's trying to make up as much time as he possibly can. So we'll see how it all plays out. Andrew Moore still up to 8th place, right behind Brian Wirtz. Brian tried to play some pit strategy, and I think he got caught with the pit road penalty because he had that minute 30. But something to watch out for, though. First and second place is Dark Horse Racing. Brian Wirtz is also Dark Horse Racing's captain. He's a team leader. And Andrew Moore Jr. trying to get around him. How hard does Brian Wirtz racing? And it looks like Andrew Moore goes down to the bottom side, down the backstretch they go. And Andrew Moore is going to get right around that 82, so there goes that storyline. Jim Westerfield's in.
Everybody's going to have to pit the front 7. Well, actually, now the front 6. And the 80 just came down, so now the front 5 still have to pit.
Andrew Moore did not take tires, only gas and go for that number 65, or sorry, for the 77 car. He's back in 6th spot, still on the lead lap. So now you got to wonder, though, will the top 2, the top 3, will they just take gas and go?
Well, Andrew Moore, actually, in this last one, he took 4 in fuel. 14.8 is what I'm showing in this box. He's short. That short pit before, he only took fuel.
Correct.
I don't think anybody's going to be doing that. They saw what happened. They saw what happened to Andrew. It was not a good play, so I think everybody's going to be getting tires with their gas.
We'll see what the gap is. About roughly a 59-second all the way down pit road, and Andrew Moore is only a 47.9 seconds behind our race leader. It's going to be close, man. Did that big pit strategy call by taking no tires, will that work out for the 77 car? And here we go, Roswell down pit road. Zach comes down pit road. And Andrew Moore Jr., 6th place driver, is just now going down turn number 2. Joshua Johnson, he is 1 lap down, back in the 7th spot.
He'll be getting that back here, though.
Yeah, he works down the front stretch now. He will get that lap back.
So everybody's pitted. Everybody's good for fuel, it looks like. Caston, the last one down, as the 3 goes underneath the 57 here.
So the top 5 are all on pit road as of right now. Andrew Moore still 44 seconds behind him, 43. Trying to make up this time as much as he possibly can. And Roswell is off. He is out. He's out of the pit road now. But here comes Andrew Moore at 27, 8 second. Everything just jumped. Fighting off a pit road, the 77, full head of steam. And here's our race leader, Roswell. And here's Andrew Moore Jr. trying to get to his back bumper. Closing on him quick, though. And Roswell still going to be our race leader. "15 laps ago around Indianapolis Speedway, and what a race this has been." Andrew Moore, though, he is up to second. He made it up to 2nd spot. Got around Zach, but the issue is, though, Zach definitely has those fresher tires.
7 laps better tires. And I was saying 10 was a necessity, so 7 definitely is going to feel good. Like you said, all it takes is one wave of the yellow flag and everything resets.
Absolutely. One yellow flag will throw this race all into a conundrum. And now here comes Zach trying to get to the back bumper of the 77 car. It was fun, man. It was absolutely fun watching this 57 of Joshua Johnson play that pit strategy. But unfortunately, I just don't think it's going to work out for him. He's back in 8th spot, 35 seconds behind our race leader.
So we kind of answered the question. He might have had to save too much to try to make that work. Got to do the calculation of speed that he was giving away, and he was giving away just too much for that average time across to the race leaders.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has enough fuel. Go to the end now. The question is, does a 77 of Andrew Moore have enough fuel? As Zach tries to get to the inside of him, and he does. Now Zach Rinker is our P2 sitter. Andrew Moore falls back to third spot.
Up on the move is Matt Lovett, 41, goes to the fastest lap of the race.
There it is, best lap time. Coming in late, track cooling off. 52.6 for Matt Lovett.
Track's down to 88 degrees.
Dark Horse Racing 1, 2, and 4 right now. So a very good run by those drivers. 1, 2, man. They can finish like that. 53-second Roswell ran. Zach ran at 52.6. With only 12 laps to go, don't think he'll have enough time to close that gap. Only a 3.7 second lead for him. 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 48 seconds. And, man, a lot of drivers were rolling the dice, and it could have worked out for them very, very well. But, hey, you know, we're race number 6. You got to do something. Can't be doing the same thing and trying to ask for a different result. So you got to give it up to these drivers that try to play the fuel strategy rule or the fuel strategy game. But each spot is worth 1 point, and oh man, only 17 drivers. It's hard to make up a gap when there's not that many drivers and only 1 point per position. But man, love it. He is our points leader right now with 11 laps to go. He's back in 4th spot, so another solid points day by him. Andrew Moore Jr. is 10 spots behind him, so right now, you know, rough math. Obviously, there's bonus points and stuff, but Andrew Moore, it looks like he's only going to gain about 1 spot if it does end like this. Ed Jurgen back here in 13th. Scott Wise, 2 laps down. He's back in 14th spot. John Minkowski, he's back rounding out the 15th. Ryan is out of this race. Jordan Berry is out of this race as well. Darren Bruce, very solid run for this driver. He's up to the 6th spot there in that 00 car and still hanging out right around Hank. Pit lane time for both of those. Look at that. Hank with a 50.1 and Darren with a 52.0. So Hank would close that 2-second gap that he had and was able to get around the 00 machine of Darren there on pit road.
Very quietly got to under 10 to go now.
It is. Everything slowly coming into vision. Roswell, he had to move up 3 spots here in tonight's event to have the lead. 8 laps to go. Zach, his teammate, back here in 7th place. Andrew Moore trying to hold on to his 3rd spot. And the number 77 car. Short pitted, man. That second to last pit stop. Only a 9-second stop for this driver. And I just think he lost too much time with those old tires as he tries to work around Scott Wise now. Joshua Johnson back here in the 8th spot, though, trying to give it everything he possibly has. Definitely has some fresh tires. But the gap.
He was looking for that. He was definitely looking for something. The 77. I mean, he's still in 3rd. I thought he was in 4th when he made the short pit, didn't he?
Joshua Johnson?
No, AJ Moore.
Yeah, so yeah, Andrew Moore, he was in, I believe he was either 2nd or 3rd whenever he tried to do that short pit.
Okay, so he didn't lose much. He's still in 3rd, and it doesn't look like Lovett's going to be able to catch him.
The closest battle is right here for the 5th spot. That's Hank, the 36 car. And Darren, the 00 machine. A little bit of a gap, though. One car stuck right smack dab into the middle of them with 7 laps to go. This has been an endurance race, sort of say, man. Straight up endurance race, trying to keep your car as clean as possible, work pit strategy, but yet still be fast. Completely different from the Bristol dirt race that we had last week, where I really thought that we was gonna have a different winner there. I did not think that was gonna be the first race that we was gonna have a 2-time winner for the ESRA Pro Series.
Yeah, it was definitely seemed to be more about survival last week with the cars all getting their sheet metal banged up and beat up. This week is all about strategy and basically knowing when to pit, because that's where we got a couple people bit on pit road, getting to pit road, and some people trying to go too far and running out of gas.
You know, I really feel like Roswell, though, just played it straight up. I mean, he just ran it all the way to empty. He came in the pit, got his tires, went back out, ran it all the way back down to empty, and just did that over and over again. And, you know, man, he has a 4-second lead. Zach, he did pit about 2 laps after Roswell did on one of the pit cycles. Then Andrew Moore Jr. tried to go with no tires. Now he's 10 seconds behind. So we've seen Joshua Johnson back there in 8th place. We talked a lot about him here tonight. He tried to do the big fuel strategy, 1 less pit stop, but he's back in 8th place, 46 seconds behind. So maybe, you know, just playing this race straight up was definitely the key here tonight.
Yeah, if we go green the whole way, definitely it's in Roswell's corner. And he'll be our second 2-time winner, won't he?
Roswell won at Richmond, and he will win if he holds on here again. He will win at Indianapolis. He will be a 2-time winner. Yeah, the 77 machine. Won it. Richmond, March 9th. Finished 7th place in race number 2 there at Michigan, Daytona. He finished in 4th place, so he's been running very, very solid. Finished 6th place at Atlanta, and the Bristol dirt race of last week, he finished in 8th spot. So another big-time win. He's already punched his ticket there into the playoffs. Well, with another win, that's just going to definitely secure him there into the chase. So he can kind of be, kind of be playing some strategy, just kind of seeing what you can do with these Legacy Cup cars.
Got fixed sets in these older cars, definitely going to cause the drivers to be able to drive the tracks. I always like the fixed setup system. Kind of reminds me of the IROC series of old that Tony Stewart kind of is bringing back with the SRX series.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of the fixed series, and now today in the iRacing world, right, you have so many setup shops. It's kind of hard to, you know, spend your time weeks trying to build you a setup from scratch to get ready for a league race while you can just go buy a setup and just kind of tweak and tune it. But yeah, that's why I'm always a big fan of the fixed series. Joshua Johnson trying to hold down this 8th place mark, is 1 second behind him, exactly 1 second behind him. Joshua Johnson hard on had to lift off that throttle a little bit, coming off of that turn number 2. Working down the backstretch into turn number 3. Trying to hold back Mark. They're in the 80 machine. Jim Westerfield back in 7th place, kind of all by himself around the track. I mean, he's the only driver there on the front stretch right now, coming across the bricks. 6th place, Darren Bruce, double O car. Hank Kaskin, great run by this driver, man. Top 5 for the 36 car. Matt Lovett, 4th. Andrew Moore, 3rd place. Zach, 2nd, and Roswell played it straight up, man. Did not play any sort of pit strategy. Just go out there and run as fast as lap times as you possibly can. And man, I will say he has had some very good pit road stops. Very, very short. But first-time racer here in the 84 machine. I believe he's taking over Casey Knighton's spot just for the time being until Knighton can get his PC fixed up after a crash of last week in qualifying. But great run by this 84, man. Up there in the top 2. Ran up in the top 3 all race long. Qualified P2. And, man, what a big statement this driver has made.
Yep, looking for that white flag to come out to the leaders so we can call this an official race.
White flag in hand, coming across the bricks. The flagman shows it to Roswell. And one more time around Indianapolis Speedway, 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 24 seconds. We've had 0 cautions. We had 2 cars smash the outside wall. We've had pit strategy playing all race long. We had some bad pit road entries. As our race leader goes right behind Ed Jurgen down the backstretch. Just trying to keep the car straight, trying to keep it clean, keep it going around the racetrack. Going to give Ed plenty of room down into that corner as he lifts off the gas pedal. And for the final time, Harold, down in the turn number 4, the 65 machine works. Comes off at turn number 4. Going to see that checkered flag in hand here in Indianapolis as he crosses the bricks on lap 88. And great run by Roswell. One question we had was Andrew Moore Jr., did he have enough gas? And he is way off pace, Harold. It looks like he had to come down pit road. He went from 3rd place all the way back to 8th. As that checkered flag waves as all these drivers are coming across the line. And man, Harold, you called it, dude. You was right. He was 1 lap too short there in that 77 car. Zach going to come home in 2nd place. Matt Lovett 3rd. Hank 4th. Everyone else still trying to work their way across the line. And here we go. Mark does. Andrew, Joshua Johnson, Brett Edwards. All come across the line for the checker time, or for the last time. Checker flag waves, Harold. What a race.
Yeah, I said he giving me attaboys. I said, so shout out to Brian Sharp, my spotter crew chief that over there at Black Magic Racing. He'd be proud of me being able to do those calculations in my head.
Dude, you was dead on all night long, man. You called it. He was maybe 1 lap short, and he definitely was. As Roswell Harlow tries to burn down that machine. 2nd time winner here in the ESRA Pro Series. Dark Horse Racing. Dark Horse Racing 1, 2, and 3 finish. 1, 2, 3 for the Dark Horse Racing Squad DHR. What a run, man. That's a very good team effort. We jump right into the Discord page. We'll see if we can get an interview with the top 3 drivers. And they're all just kind of there in their team channel, but we'll try to drag Matt Love in. Matt, how's it going, Matt? Hey, Matt, can you hear us? Don't think you can. So we'll try to pull up our 2nd place winner of Zach. Zach, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
Dude, a pretty solid, man. What a race you guys had out there. Pit road strategy was coming into play. Fuel strategy was coming into play. 88 laps. And, man, you was able to come out there in 2nd place.
A pretty good run. I wasn't quite sure what to expect with this car. I haven't run it before, but a pretty good day, finishing P2.
Now, was you Dark Horse Racing guys finish 1, 2, and 3 here tonight, man? Was you guys talking to each other about pit road strategy? I know one time, I think you pit about 1 or 2 laps after Roswell did.
We weren't really talking too much. We kind of knew about the ballpark of how short we were and how much we had to save if we were trying to save. So we just kind of all ended up pitting about the same time anyways.
Legacy Cup cars, man. I think this is your first race with these with us. Is that correct?
Filling in for Casey tonight. He wasn't able to make it. I normally run the Clash series and the Xfinity cars.
Well, man, very very good run, man. It was exciting. If you had to do it all over again, Zach, would you mess up your pit strategy any, or would you keep it the same?
Probably keep it about the same. I didn't have the long run speed that Roswell did or Andrew at the start of the race to be able to be there at the end.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on your P2 finish out in Indianapolis. If we see you next week, awesome. If not, man, we'll see you work your way up through the Clash Series and right up here to the Pro Series.
Yep.
Thanks, man. Zach, man, big time filling in. Got that P2 there in the 84 car, Harold. That was big. So we bring in Ron.
Good. Always good when you bring in a guy and he gets you a top 3.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all you can ask for. But Roswell is going to be a race winner there in the 65 machine. And Roswell, dude, we've seen all sorts of pit strategy playing out. Everyone trying to short pit, no tires, fuel only, trying to clutch their car down into the corners. And you look like you just played it straight up. You just ran as fast as you possibly can until you ran out of gas.
Yeah, I mean, the only time we really played the strategy game was that second to last pit stop there. We short pit by about 5 laps, undercut it. I knew Andrew was coming. I knew he was on a lot better tires than us at that point, just by a couple laps, but that makes all the difference. After that, we tried to play a couple of mind games with him with the strategy, and he wound up taking 2 on that stop, and we were able to just run away from there. The only competition we really had was Zach, and I mean, guy did a hell of a job for DHR there. Coming up for one race and getting a P2 out of it.
You're a 2-time winner here in the ESRA Pro Series. You've already punched your ticket there in the playoffs, and man, you've done it once again. So congratulations on the checkered flag, man. Your pit stops were absolutely perfect, though. I mean, you was very quick. We've seen a lot of drivers locking them up. How hard was it trying to get on pit road?
That was really the hardest part was not sliding the tires, and just keeping that in your head to just make sure you manage that brake pedal and don't overdo it coming in, and really just try to hit your marks. It's not so much about how much how late you brake as much as just getting in clean, getting out clean, not getting any penalties. And saw that hurt a couple guys tonight, but every little bit helps, and I've definitely been burned by that before. But the plan for tonight was just coming into the pits. We're going to be nice and gentle, just take care of the car, and make sure we had something for the end.
Now, here in the ESRA Pro Series, when you guys have to pit, you guys have to key up and tell the other drivers that you're pitting. One, or the major deal is just for safety, so we don't get ran over. But how late was you coming onto the mic and telling these guys that you was coming down a pit, and was people trying to copy your pit strategy?
A few guys were definitely doing that. Like I said, we were trying to play a little bit of games with the guys. I think the latest I called that I was coming in was in the chute between 3 and 4. Just trying to give guys that moment's hesitation, but it's one thing to do it when they're right on your tail. That can definitely get pretty dangerous. Guys can a lot of fast equipment can get torn up by doing that. But when they're 2-3 seconds back, let's try and fake them out a little bit. Just wait as long as we can before we make that call.
Congratulations to a checker flag for the second time here in the ESRA Pro Series. Roswell, you got any shout-outs that you like to give?
Yeah, so big thank you to my main sponsor, Till Valhalla Project, and all the work they do with Mission 22, and donating memorial plaques to families of fallen vets. Millie Mermaid's Trove, my friend's Etsy store, some really cool art stuff there. She's doing tumblers right now. Just did up a brand new logo for us. And then after that, got to thank the secondary sponsors, Snap-on, my Snap-on rep, Tim Wilson. Other than that, I got a big thank you to my girlfriend and my family. Couldn't do this week in and week out without their support. It can get real frustrating sometimes, and I definitely would have thrown the towel in a few times over without them pushing me. So big thank you to all of them. Big thank you to Brian Wirtz for putting this team together and everything he does with Dark Horse Racing. And super excited to be part of a DHR 123 tonight.
Very good run by the DHR guys, Dark Horse Racing. Roswell, congratulations, man, and we'll try to talk to you next Monday night.
Yes, sir. Thank you much.
Roswell, man, back-to-back, or no, not back-to-back, but a second-time winner. So we have Matt Lovett, and now we have Roswell Harlow, 2-time race winners here in the ESRA Pro Series. And Harold, what's your final thoughts, man?
Just Indianapolis, such an old racetrack. So many different things going on here. Wide racetrack. We saw it. We called it. It was going to be pit strategies, fuel strategies. And you were talking about that entry on pit lane. Even this is one of the easiest ones. Bit 2 guys tonight.
Yeah, it definitely did it. And definitely sometimes it bit them if you're too easy trying to get on pit road. We've seen a lot of guys lose 2 seconds there on pit road, and, that costs them a spot. So, and then with these legacy cup cars, man, it's all about saving tires and trying to ease off the corners and slowly roll back into the throttle. But congratulations to the top 3. Hank with the top 4 run. Darren 5th. Jim Westerfield 6th place. Mark 7th. Andrew Moore Jr. top 3 runner all race long. Ran out of gas. He's back there in 8th. Joshua Johnson 9th. Brett Edwards 10th. Brian Wirtz 11th. Ryan Nicoletta back there in 12th spot. Ed Jurgen 13th with a speed road penalty. 40 seconds. He's back there in 13th spot. Scott Wise 14th. John Menkowski 15th. Ryan Jordan Berry, and our race controller here tonight was Kyle Ramsey. And congratulations to all these drivers that made it here tonight. What a run. It was fun, man. Till next time, Harold with One to Go Studios. Next Monday night, man. I think you'll be back with us. Is that correct?
I start my other leagues, man, but it's been a great time with you guys up here, and ESRA. These guys put on a great show.
Absolutely. So thanks again, man, for helping me broadcast through this. Thanks for all that information, man. You were dead on tonight with the pit road strategy. So good luck there with One to Go Studios and your league that comes up Monday night. Make sure you guys go like their page. If you haven't, go look at the ESRA Pro Series Elite Sim Racing Association Facebook page. Get joined up. They got the IndyCar Series, they have the Truck Series, they have the Xfinity, and then they have the Mac Daddy Pro Series with these drivers. Until next time, until Monday night, everyone please take care, stay safe, enjoy some iRacing.com, and don't be a mean person. They suck. We need less of them. All right, Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern. We'll be back live with the here on Wisco_TV. Thank you all for liking and sharing the stream. We'll talk to you guys then.